Hey everybody, I have Matt Ager here with me, and this is Moneyball. Matty, what's happening, man? How are you?
What's up? I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
No, absolutely, man. Thanks for joining me. Now you're down in Bradenton, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how's the weather been? 60s, 70s?
Yeah, it's like honestly 70s to 80s.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks.
70 to 80 the last 2 weeks. It's been
Yeah,
nice.
so up here in Buffalo, it's 8 degrees. I'm sorry, I told Matt it was 5, but it's actually 8 degrees, so I was mistaken. So shout out to Solero Shades. I got you in there, Mark. I was able to, give you a little salute to these shades here. Best in the business, man. Mark Paul's doing his thing with Solero Shades. Shout out to Camwood Bats, some new sponsors to the show, so just wanted to give them theirs. And yeah, man, it's really cold. How's everything going down in Pirates camp?
It's good. It's good. It's fun. You just go throwing in, lifting in, conditioning, some recovery work, and then you're good.
But is it kind of grinding, redundant, or how is it right now with your mental?
I would say no, I love it. I love it.
Okay.
This is perfect for me.
I have to finish school and I have to do this. Dude, you were drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates. You're not going back.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's
this is it. Like you're down there. What was that feeling like being drafted, man? Tell me a little bit about that.
it was awesome. So both my parents are from Pittsburgh.
Oh, they
They moved.
are.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
all right.
So
Here, hold on. The plot now, man. This is great. This is great. So I need to hear this. So they're from Pittsburgh, born and raised.
yeah. So my dad's from Jeanette, and my mom's from she's in like closer to Philly area, I think.
Okay, but they're both from Pennsylvania.
Both from yeah, and they both they met at Penn State, and then they moved out to California for my dad's job. But yeah, they both their parents are they live in Pennsylvania, so
That's
it's a pretty
amazing.
cool story. Yeah,
That's amazing. It's hard to not like Pittsburgh, especially when you're there
yeah,
and watching what they're all about. And my hope is that they're able to keep some of these guys, that their farm system's phenomenal.
yeah. They're pretty outstanding at developing pitchers. They just you. I look up at like even just being here because you see all the big league guys and the top prospects that are in Double A, Triple A, and you just see like there's just there's 10 guys that are eight guys that are big league ready that
Right.
they're not making it because they already got good pitchers there too.
Right. No, exactly. And, obviously the emphasis everybody puts on Paul Skeens. I was able to meet him and chat with him for a couple of minutes, and the guy's phenomenal. And obviously he is he's a generational talent. However, there's a lot of other guys in that starting five right now, man. Like,
Yeah,
say you were even in a position where you were ready to crack that starting five. It's everybody puts all the emphasis on Skeens and they don't really pay attention to a couple of these other guys that are nasty.
yeah.
So you're right about that, as far as what they're developing. So the parents went to Penn State. Did they
Yeah.
meet in college?
Yeah. They met at Penn State.
Met at college, went out there for your dad's job, you said.
Yeah.
All right, and then we had a little Maddie was born.
Yeah, they had my older sister, me, and then they wanted a third. They're saying is like God misunderstood them, and they had three kids. They had triplets after me.
Oh,
So
no
they
kidding.
got three instead of one, getting a third.
Oh, all right. So they had triplets.
Yeah.
So you have it's you and so there's five of you?
Yeah, five of us.
That's crazy. How old are the triplets?
They're freshmen in college right now.
We're gonna turn this whole interview around. We're gonna make it all about your triplet siblings.
And-
Callie's just sprouting pros, man. Callie is just doing things right now for baseball, and it's really exciting to see. It's wild, man. It really is, and I mean this in all sincerity. To look at the guys that you were playing right in your club or your whatever, and five or six or seven, I don't even know all of them were drafted.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
the past couple of years, man. What's in the water out there, dude? Like, what's going on?
Santa Barbara is just on the up, honestly. It's taking a little longer. It's just because it's mid-major baseball on the West Coast, and they can't just dump $100 million into it like the SEC.
Yeah.
But it is on the up slowly. I mean, we just got a huge donation for mid-major West Coast. But yeah, we were talking about that since like freshman year. We look around and we're like, dude, we're gonna be nasty when we're juniors. And then, we were good when we were juniors, and like pretty much our whole junior class got drafted, like almost.
But
Yeah, I think there's like seven of us. I think seven of us out of maybe 11 or 10.
that's wild, man. So seeing
Yeah.
that and then kind of seeing where everything's going and everybody's scattered in all different directions. And, of course you're going to keep up with them. But some people are Cactus League, some people are Grapefruit League, some people are, drafted by the Pirates, some are drafted by the Diamondbacks, right? So all
Yeah.
of that different stuff and keeping in touch. Is it important to you? And do you want to kind of follow and see where these guys go and watch their development?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's awesome to just, kind of, for lack of better words, just like see everyone at the same level.
Well,
Like, you're playing against each other now, not with each other. And you see them on Instagram and, see all their highlights and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool just to watch, because we don't talk as much as we did when we were living together all
sure,
the time.
sure.
Call them every week or two, and then you just see him online, 10 homers, and you're just like, this is awesome.
You guys all seem to have a really solid foundation. It's really cool camaraderie. But when you were drafted, how did everything go down, man? Were you guys anticipating it? Did you have a little party going on? What was happening?
So I was just at home. It was just me, my family, and my girlfriend, just in Pleasanton. My mom actually, this was like just ter the worst time ever. She had appendicitis the
Oof.
day of the draft. Just like, like the worst time ever for her appendix to go. But so she was in the hospital with her friend, and it was me, my sisters, my dad, and my girlfriend on the couch just watching. And I think like the fifth round came around. My agent called me. He's like, Astros are gonna take you right now, like this much. I was like, sweet, let's do it. And then it goes by and they didn't take me. So then he calls me again in the sixth round. He's like, all right, Pirates taking you, like for sure. And I was like, all right, sweet. And then they go on and kind of just from there, my dad's happy. Grandma's calling me and telling me it's the best day of her life.
Uh,
85.
oh, that's got to be an amazing feeling, right?
It
Like
was
think
awesome.
about
It
that,
was awesome.
man. Like
She's the biggest Pirates fan ever. It's so cute.
she
Like she watches every game, even spring training, like everything she can get her hands on. She just listens to the Pirates all day, watches their spring training games. Yeah.
see, and that to me, man, I just have this belief that the universe and karma and things just work out the way they're supposed to work out, right? Your
Mhm.
85-year-old grandmother being one of the biggest Buccos fans ever, and Maddie gets drafted in the sixth round by that same team. Like, tell me that's not coincidence, man. It's not.
It's pretty cool.
It's just
Yeah,
not
it's pretty
coincidence.
cool.
There's no way. I mean, maybe your grandma is super rich and you don't know, and she like, had something to do with it, and
Just told him.
yeah, she paid them like $20 million to draft you, and you'll never know about it.
Yeah.
These
There's
type
a
of
picture of us when we visited my uncle that lives in Virginia. I don't even know, maybe like 10 years ago.
yeah.
It's all of us, my family, his family, and my grandma at a Pirates game. We're all wearing Pirates gear, so it was pretty cool to see that.
That is cool, man. Oh, growing up in California, who was your team? Was it the Giants or
The
Dodgers?
Giants.
It was the
Yeah.
Giants. Have you
Um,
been to the city of Pittsburgh at all?
I have just for the signing.
Okay. So
Yeah.
tell me about that. Tell me a little bit. Put people inside, what they do there. Do they
Yeah.
fly you out and you sign at the facility? How does that work?
I think everyone does it a little differently. Sometimes you sign
Okay.
at the complex, sometimes you sign at the big league stadium. But the Pirates are pretty cool. They flew us out, me and four other guys. They flew us out like in my draft class. Flew us out, flew our parents out, got us hotel, and then they give you a schedule. Like they pick us up like 6 a.m. the next day for our physicals. Because I
Okay.
want to get all the physicals done because you can't sign until you get all your physicals.
Right, right, right.
So you do that, and then later in the day they call you into this like big meeting room in the stadium. It's
Okay.
like pretty serious, it looks pretty
Yeah, yeah.
intense.
Oh, yeah.
And then they just walk you through a bunch of like logistic stuffs, and then you sign the contract, put the jersey on, shake everyone's hand, take some pictures, and then there was a game later that day that they got us a suite, and so we
Okay.
all went to the suite and watched the game.
See, they do it right. That's the way
Yeah,
to do it. Obviously, you plan it then and you get to, and then you're meeting a couple of the teammates, right? And
yeah, you're hanging out with them.
so, I mean, you're a pretty big dude, man. What is as far as your pitching repertoire, what's your pitch, man? I watched some highlights of you. Obviously, I checked you out. I do a little bit of research. We like to shoot from the hip here with Moneyball, but I do some research. You got a little heat. I saw that little hot sauce. But what is maybe your top three? What's your repertoire?
Changeup is a little changeup. I mean, not changeup. Slider's the go-to when it's on, but it's been a little hit or miss this last year. Kind of just there, sometimes not. And ideally, I would like it to be there all the time.
Right.
But that's kind of the go-to when it's on, and then it's mainly just slider, fastball, changeup, and then a little curve. Not a main pitch, but throw it in there to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, right. Keep them on their toes, man. I think people personally put a little bit too much emphasis on just the heat, just the heat itself.
Yeah.
When somebody says, "All right, this dude pitches 103," well, great, but if he's breaking everybody's jaw because he's nowhere close to the strike zone, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter how fast he throws.
Now, if you're 93 with some good vert, around like 18, 20, and you can throw it where you want, you don't need anything more than that.
Yeah, and you need, and obviously have a couple pitches that work.
Yeah, yeah. We have a coach named Vic Black. He's a genius. He's awesome. He's a good guy, and he's helped everybody a lot.
Yeah, I was going to ask that next. I was going to say, how much kind of one-on-one or personal time do they give you? It is a big draft class, not to mention everybody that's coming back. You got to have 50 pitchers, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. They do a good job of splitting us up into like kind of groups so you can get a little more like coach time. But I would say every time you throw a pen or something, you got one-on-one, and then in catch play, they're always there watching. And then if you want them to look at something, you just ask them stuff like that.
Yeah, and they're all pretty. I mean, and I'm asking these things, obviously it might sound silly to you because you're in there, but for viewers, and for people that aren't involved, I think these are cool questions because it gives a little bit of insight of what it's like
Yeah.
for somebody just drafted, what it's like, right, to get there. And that's why I appreciate you answering the signing day and just kind of that stuff. That's what people kind of want to hear, like, oh, that's cool. They took you out to the stadium and they had you sign there and they had a suite for you. And just the one-on-one time, because I mean, let's be honest, man. It's not easy to make the pros. You're in now a 1% of exclusivity, dude. You're in a club that if you never pitch in a pro game ever in your life, which you are going to, but I'm saying if you never do, you were drafted by the Pirates, and that's always going to be there forever. Nobody can take that away from you. And I don't think you're content with that by any means, but that's there. And very
Yeah.
few people can say that. So it's cool to be able to tell that story. Where do you kind of see yourself? Do they give you any idea of, hey, Maddie, you're going to be starting here, going here?
Not really. They've never seen me throw like live in a game yet either. So I
Okay.
got drafted this last, I don't know,
Yeah.
July, August. I don't know
Right,
when.
right. 6 months, 8 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I got drafted, I was rehabbing my oblique for like the first 2 months. So I
Okay.
didn't even throw, like they didn't even see me
Oh, so
throw.
they really rolled the dice here with you, man. Grandma definitely helped out.
Yeah. So yeah, they didn't even see me throw for a while. Then I go to the off season, and then I'm working out, building back up, and now I'm throwing pens, and they still haven't seen me throw to like a hitter yet. So it's very, very much like no, they're like, let's just see you for a little bit, and then we
Yeah,
can talk
yeah,
about like where you want to be. But my hope is that I start in low A, and then
yeah.
just do my best at each level from there.
I had Cam Collier on the show. He was drafted when he was 17 years old, right? I mean,
Yeah,
the dude's 20 years old. Obviously, expectations are different for everybody. I think with pitchers, you really got to watch it. You really need to take your time. How old are you?
21.
21. You're a young buck still. I see that. You like that young
Yeah,
buck?
okay.
That was good, man. I feel like there's almost like this panic window, right? If I got to do something soon, I got to get in there because, all of a sudden I'm going to be 25 and then how is everybody going to view me? And that needs to change a little bit. I think the mentality back in the day, man, guys didn't start playing ball till they were like 25, 26, 27 years old and they played till they were 40. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. As a player, I want to rush me as much as you can. Get me
Yeah,
there as fast as I can.
that's fair. That's fair.
But I do think, I think. Even me, I'm 21, and I'm sure like high school guys feel the same way. Like right as I got drafted, it's like, okay, I have like a certain amount of years where I have to reassess if I'm like able to make it or if I'm
All player.
just
Yeah, yeah.
stagnant and like so it kind of feels like I'm on a timeline now and I'm just rushing against that
I
timeline. Even
hate I
though
hate that for you though, dude. I really do.
yeah,
That's exactly my point. Like I hate that. Like a 25-year-old, you're not that old. You're 25 years old. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you hit it right on the head. Like it almost
yeah,
bothers me to a point. It's like, man, 26 years old, rookie, that shouldn't be crazy. Like you shouldn't look at the baseball card and look at the back and see that he was born in 99 and be like, oh, bust. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
yeah.
that's what it's like now, dude. It's insane.
No, it's very real. Yeah, right as I sign, I'm going like, okay, I have this amount of time. Where else I need to, reassess. But I think it's more of the fact there, if I'm 25 and I'm in low A still, it's like, okay, I need to reassess what I'm
Okay,
doing. But
that's
if I'm
fair.
I'm 25 and I'm in double A or triple A and I'm knocking at the door and I'm a year or two away, I don't feel like I'm too old. Like there's no point of giving up when you're that close.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
That's very well said.
when I got drafted, I realized like, okay, I kind of had the same feeling in high school. It's, I'm working hard to get committed to a college. I commit to Santa Barbara, and it's almost like, what do I do now? Like that was my whole goal the last freaking 5 years of my baseball career.
Yep, was to get there, right?
Yeah, was just to commit. So I get there and I'm like, well, what do I do now? So, like a week or two, then you're like, okay, like, just keep going. I want to play when I get there,
That's
stuff like that.
that's really interesting though, and you're making great points.
And then I felt the same thing when I got drafted. I'm working all 3 years I get there. First year it's like to play, and then last 2 years it's like, okay, get drafted as high as I can, get drafted. Like I'm at the beginning now from where I actually want to be. Like I'm way farther. I felt like I was farther back than what I actually was in college.
Totally. And you go from big man on campus, literally, like
Yeah.
everybody knows Ager, he's gonna get drafted. Everybody knows he's going, and now you're low man on the totem pole again,
Hmm.
Got to
Yeah.
earn your
It's
stripe.
like high school to college. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but it's cool, and I appreciate, taking a few minutes to talk about that, man. We'll go to some fun questions, bro. We'll go to, are you a seed guy?
Yeah, not I don't need them every day, but if they're out for free, I'll take them.
Yeah.
I love salt. I love salt, so I like the original seed sometimes.
Yeah. How about the salty and sweet ones? Have you had those?
Yeah, the purple bag.
The purple bag, the Davids. Yeah, I think they're the David
Yeah,
purples. They're sweet and
yeah, I
salty,
like
sweet and
those.
salty, and then a sweet and spicy. But the sweet and salty is where it's at.
Okay, yeah, I like a lot. I'm not a picky guy. I like a lot of things, but yeah,
What are your favorite hobbies, man? What do you like to do outside of baseball? Not only other sports, but other things.
I like to just be outside and kind of compete, be active. Whether it's I like to mountain bike with my dad when I'm home,
Okay.
golf with my friends. We go surf at school,
Okay.
go on hikes, go play spike ball. Like we go after we're done for the day, we go play spike ball in like the grass field, like just
Okay.
stuff like go play basketball. Just go outside and
What
move
is
around.
which is the spike ball? Is that the one you spike it down with the trampoline type thing?
Yeah, either 5 or 6 around sometime around there.
Yeah.
But when the big leaguers aren't here, we start our days around 7 or 8, and then we're done around noon.
So
So
it's funny
noon
hearing
on means
it's
nothing.
it's crazy hearing you say the big leaguers. You know what I mean? Because that's
Yeah, yeah,
you. Like, when I'm interviewing you, you're an MLB, you're a big leaguer. But I know exactly what you're saying.
yeah,
The guys are all coming in now. The veterans are all coming in now, right?
yeah. The guys that are on the 40 man are coming in, so they take the early section of the day, and we take the afternoon.
Are they like, get out of here, squirt, get out of here, home fry, like,
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I mean, they're not mean about it, but that's
right, right, right.
that's how it is.
How have you met a few of the guys? Have you had a chance to talk to Skeens yet or anybody?
Yeah, most of them are really cool. Like we all, the cafeteria, it's right out my window right there.
Yeah,
It's open, set times out of the day for everybody. So
yeah.
you go in there, it could be, sit down with anyone and you meet all these guys. They're all great guys.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I mean, has there been any cool conversations or anybody give you a little advice or anything like that yet?
There's one guy, his name's Tim Miza. He was on the Yankees last year. Now he's with us. Um, I was just like throwing with him, playing catch with him before the big league camp started.
Yeah,
Um, and I was like, he's been in the league for I think around 13 years. So I
has
was
he
like, well,
really?
this is a pretty good opportunity, to
Yeah.
pick this guy's brain and ask him. So I just asked him like, what would you tell yourself when you first started, like in my position, in my shoes? And his biggest thing he said was just like, just trust yourself. You don't need the nastiest pitches. You don't need to make anything better than it is. You just need to execute pitches where you want to start them and just trust that it's going to do what it's going to do.
See, and dude, that's like almost gave me goosebumps hearing that. Like, a 13-year veteran. And that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Just having someone come over and tell you that and give you that little umph of confidence, that had to feel great, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, he's a great guy too. He's fun to hang out with, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was just cool. I was just like, this is a good opportunity for me. And he was telling me his first 2 years he was about to get cut. Like he was terrible, like at 70 ERA, I think, in his first 2 years.
Yeah.
And he was pretty much in spring training. He's like, I'm either gonna get cut or I'm gonna, I have to like do this. So he had to trust himself, and from that,
There's that confidence without arrogance, which I appreciate, man. I think you're just, sky's the limit for you, dude. I really appreciate you coming on.
thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. This was awesome.
A lot of fun, man.